Hi class, welcome to Cana Elite's Tips for Effective Analysis. Making an argument for something is made up of a point where you state the thing that you're about to prove, and you should signpost what theme, technique, or aspect of writer's craft you're going to use to prove that thing. Evidence is where you bring in quotes, motifs, and references in order to show that your argument has a basis in the text. Analysis is what we're going to be focusing on in this video series. And in your link, you are supposed to link back to your thesis statement if it's part of an essay. Today we're going to look at analysis. Basically, this is after you've made your point, stated what you're going to use to prove it, and now you have to use the specifics of that piece of evidence and take your reader by the hand and walk them step by step through your thought process. So here's tip 1. Make sure you're analyzing the thing that you said you would. This seems obvious, but is harder than you might expect. Let's look at Robert Frost's Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening.
The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Now, let's say that our point is that Frost uses repetition to emphasize the length of journey in the woods, and our evidence is his repetition of "and miles to go before I sleep," twice at the close of the poem. So in this case, repetition is the thing that we promised to analyze. So we can say that miles to go implies the lengths he hasn't traveled yet, and before I sleep emphasizes the narrator's sense of duty to his promises and the tasks that he has to complete before he can rest. That's good, but it's not quite good enough. It only analyzes the word choice and its connotations, and not the repetition that we actually pointed out, so it doesn't analyze the thing. The best way of checking is this. Consider if the repetition wasn't there. If our analysis still holds when one of the repetitions is taken out, then we didn't actually analyze the thing. So let's add on to the existing analysis. Yeah, we can say that miles to go implies the lengths he hasn't traveled yet, and before I sleep emphasizes his sense of duty to his promises and the tasks that he has to complete before he can rest. Now, the repetitions could also create a rhythmic quality to the lines, as if it's maybe an imitation of his slow, plodding footsteps, and this might suggest to readers the feeling of a lengthy journey ahead. And so now this is much stronger. It goes through word choice and its connotations, and it gives an interpretation of the technique that we initially pointed out. Now let's look at another example.
Tichborne's Elegy, written with his own hand in the tower before his execution. My tale was heard, and yet it was not told. My fruit is fallen, and yet my leaves are green. My youth is spent, and yet I am not old. I saw the world, and yet I was not seen. My thread is cut, and yet it is not spun, and now I live, and now my life is done.
So overall, you could say that there's a tone of hopelessness and regret that his life is ending, while he's still so young and full of potential. Let's pick out a specific thing to analyze. Let's look at the metaphor in this line. So firstly, what does this line even mean? My fruit is fallen, and yet my leaves are green. Our point could be that Tichborne uses metaphor to convey the despair that he feels, knowing that he still has potential, but his life is soon going to be over. In particular, the phrase fruit is fallen offers a sense of disappointment. It's like the fruit was wasted by rotting away on the ground rather than harvested and enjoyed. And you could say that leaves are green implies youth and spring and new life. So this is a good start, but have we actually explained the thing, the metaphor, that we're analyzing? Maybe not yet. We're missing some information. So what is the actual metaphor here? A metaphor has to make a comparison between a literal and a figurative object. So we have to explain what or who the tree is actually referring to. We could say the tree is a metaphor for Tichborne himself. His life is the fruit that has fallen and wasted away. Maybe during autumn, when unharvested fruits usually fall from trees, and everything in nature starts to die out. But his leaves are green, so that implies that he's still too young. He's still in springtime and in his prime of life, so he doesn't want to die. Like the tree, he's dying before his time. So now we've really analyzed the metaphor. by linking each description of the tree back to Tichborne himself. So again, tip 1 is analyze the thing that you said you would. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.